Hello, friend. Welcome to Science for Sleep. Whether you're returning tonight or just finding this channel for the first time, this is a quiet place to slow down, learn something gentle, and let the day gradually fall away. Tonight, we're going to drift into the world of eagles, not just as birds in the sky, but as living symbols that humans have looked up to for thousands of years. Across history, people have seen eagles and thought of strength. They have placed them on flags, coins, seals, shields, buildings, and emblems. Ancient Rome carried the eagle on its standards. The United States placed the bald eagle on its Great Seal in 1782. Many cultures saw the eagle as a creature that belonged close to the sun, high above ordinary ground. It is easy to understand why. An eagle does not need to fill the sky with noise to feel powerful. It can simply circle over a lake, a cliff, or a wide valley, held up by air that cannot be seen. From below, its wings may look almost still. Its body may seem small against the clouds, but the shape is unmistakable. Wide wings, a steady head, a slow turning path, a presence that makes people look up. If you enjoy these quiet journeys, you're welcome to subscribe. And if it feels natural, to leave a comment sharing where you're listening from tonight. It helps others find their way to this calm corner of the world, one sleepy traveler at a time. What makes the eagle even more interesting is that the symbol did not come from nothing. The real animal is already remarkable. Some eagles have wingspans wider than a grown person is tall. A bald eagle can stretch its wings about 6 to 7.5 feet from tip to tip. A golden eagle can reach a similar size, with long wings shaped for open country and mountain wind. When one of these birds passes overhead, it is not only the idea of power that feels large. The body itself is large, a living frame of bone, feathers, muscle, and air. Even the name bald eagle carries a quiet surprise. The bird is not bald at all. Its head is covered in bright white feathers. The word bald comes from an older meaning, connected to whiteness or a pale marking. So the bald eagle is really the white-headed eagle. The name stayed, even though the bird's head is full of feathers, smooth and bright against its darker body. That white head does not appear right away. Young bald eagles are mostly brown and mottled, with patches of white scattered through their wings and body. They do not gain the clean white head and tail of the adult until they are about 5 years old. So the eagle most people recognize is not the beginning of the bird's life. It is the result of years of growth, wandering, and survival. There is something calming in that. Even a creature used as a symbol of strength begins unfinished. It must grow into its shape. It must learn the air. It must find food, avoid danger, and survive changing seasons before it becomes the image humans know so well. And high above the ground, that image is still not just a symbol. It is a working body. The broad wings are not decoration. They help the eagle ride rising warm air with little effort. The hooked beak is not only fierce-looking. It is shaped for tearing food into pieces small enough to swallow. The talons are not simply sharp. They are curved tools for gripping branches, fish, and prey with steady force. Every part of the eagle that humans turned into meaning first had a practical use. Strength, was survival. Height was a better view. Stillness was patience. Freedom was the ability to move across water, forest, cliff, and open sky. So tonight, the eagle can be seen in two ways at once. It is the bird carved into human history, and it is also the real animal above the lake, watching the surface below, feeling the wind change under its wings, waiting for one exact moment. The symbol is powerful, but the living bird is even more so. Because once the eagle is no longer just an emblem, once it becomes feather, eye, wing, nest, hunger, and breath, a deeper question begins to open. What does the world look like from up there? What kind of sight allows a bird to turn distance into certainty? And how does one quiet shape in the sky hold so much meaning for the human mind below? The eagle becomes easier to understand when the symbol softens and the animal remains. Not a drawing on a flag, not a shape pressed into metal, not only an idea of strength, but a bird with bones light enough for flight, eyes made for distance, and feet built to hold tightly to the world below. Eagles belong to a group of birds called raptors. A raptor is a bird of prey. That means it hunts or feeds on other animals using sharp eyesight, a hooked beak, and strong feet with curved claws called talons. Hawks, falcons, owls, kites, vultures, and eagles are all raptors, though each one lives in its own way. The bald eagle, known by the scientific name Haliaeetus leucocephalus, is a sea eagle. That does not mean it only lives by the ocean. It means it is part of a group of eagles strongly linked to water, fish, shorelines, rivers, and lakes. The golden eagle, Aquila crisatus, belongs to a different line. It is more often tied to mountains, open grasslands, cliffs, and wide dry country. Both are eagles, but their bodies tell different stories about the places they survive. This is where the human idea of the eagle begins to meet the real one. People look at an eagle and see command. But in nature, command is not a feeling. It is the result of careful design. The eagle does not need to chase every small movement below it. It can wait. It can circle. It can hold its place in the air, while the land moves slowly beneath it. That patience is not poetic. It saves energy. A large bird cannot waste motion the way a tiny sparrow can. A sparrow may survive by darting into shrubs, hiding in branches, and staying close to others. A flock of starlings may twist together in the sky, using numbers and confusion as protection. But an eagle survives in a different way. It uses space. It uses height. It uses distance. It watches from above, where the pattern of a shoreline, a field, or a river bend can be read all at once. Its strength is not only in its muscles, it is in choosing when not to move. Even its beak is shaped around this life. The upper part curves down like a hook. It is made of keratin, the same tough material found in human fingernails, but formed into a cutting edge. An eagle does not chew food the way a mammal does. It tears pieces small enough to swallow. This beak is not simply fierce looking. It is a tool shaped by the work of feeding. The talons carry the same quiet truth. They are not decorations of power. They are practical, curved instruments for gripping fish, branches, and prey. When an eagle lands on a high branch, those feet wrap around the wood. When it catches food, the talons close with force and hold through movement, water, feathers, scales, or fur. The body has to work as one system. The eyes find, the wings carry, the feet seize. The beak breaks down what the feet have held. Even the eagle's broad chest matters because flight muscles need a strong anchor. Inside that chest is the keel, a ridge of bone on the breastbone where powerful flight muscles attach. Without that hidden structure, the wings could not pull against the air with the same control. So the eagle's power is not one thing. It is not only size. It is not only speed. It is not only sharpness. It is the way many parts of the body agree with one another. The bird appears calm because it is not built for panic. It appears focused because survival rewards focus. It appears commanding because it can hold distance until the exact moment distance must disappear. From the ground, this can look almost effortless. A slow circle, a slight turn of the wings, a head angled downward. But inside that stillness, the eagle is gathering information. Light from the water, motion near the shore, the shape of a fish below the surface, the path of another bird carrying food, the open branch that may become a perch, the safe route back to the nest. The symbol of the eagle feels strong because the living eagle is always reading the world. And the deeper wonder is how much it can read from so far away. What kind of eyes can turn a distant ripple, a small movement, or a pale shape on the ground into a clear decision? From far below, the eagle may look as if it is only drifting. A dark shape against pale clouds. A pair of wings holding steady above a river, a field, or a shining stretch of lake. But inside the eagle's head, the world is not soft or distant. It is sharp. It is layered. It is filled with small movements that would disappear from human sight. An eagle's eyes are large for the size of its head. In some large eagles, each eye is close to the size of a human eye, even though the bird's skull is much smaller. That means a large part of the eagle's head is devoted to vision. The eye is not just a round window. It is a living instrument that gathers light, focuses detail, and sends signals to the brain fast enough to guide flight. At the back of the eye is the retina. The retina is a thin layer of light-sensitive cells. It works a little like film in an old camera, or the sensor in a modern one. Light enters the eye, lands on the retina, and becomes information. In raptors, this retina is packed with cells that help detect fine detail. Many raptors also have a special area called the fovea. The fovea is a tiny zone where vision becomes especially sharp. Humans have a fovea too, and it is why the center of vision is clearer than the edges. But many birds of prey have extremely strong foveal vision, allowing them to focus on small targets at long distances. Some raptors are often estimated to see 4 or more times more sharply than humans. That does not mean the eagle sees magic. It means that a shape too small or too blurred for human eyes may still hold useful detail for the bird. A fish near the surface, a rabbit shifting in dry grass, a duck moving along the edge of reeds, a pale bone or scrap of carrion on a gravel bar. From high above, these details are not random. They are signals. They help the eagle decide whether to keep circling, turn away, drop lower, or prepare to strike. The position of the eyes matters too. Many small birds have eyes placed more toward the sides of the head. This gives them a wide view of the world around them, which helps them notice danger from many directions. For a small bird feeding near shrubs, seeing almost all around the body can be the difference between escape and capture. Eagles need a different balance. Their eyes face more forward. This gives them stronger overlap between what the left eye and right eye see. That overlap is called binocular vision. It helps with depth perception, which means judging how far away something is. Depth matters when a bird must close the space between sky and ground. A fish is not only below the eagle, it is moving. The surface of the water may bend the light. Wind may wrinkle the lake. The fish may turn, flash, vanish, and appear again. To catch it, the eagle must judge distance, speed, angle, and timing. It must know not just where the fish is, but where the fish is about to be. This is why eagle vision feels so connected to patience. The bird can afford to wait because it can keep reading. A ripple near the reeds may mean nothing. A second ripple may mean movement. A small silver flash may become a target. The eagle's eyes give the world a kind of quiet order. Far below, the lake may seem like one bright sheet of water. To the eagle, it may be broken into glare, shadow, wind lines, floating sticks, swimming fish, resting birds, and open paths of air. Even color and contrast can matter. Birds often have rich color vision compared with humans, and many species see details in light that our eyes miss. For an eagle, the world is not just farther away. It may also be more textured, more edged, more alive with difference. And yet, sharp sight alone is not enough. The eagle is not standing still with a telescope. It is flying through moving air. Its wings shift. Its body tilts. Warm currents rise. Crosswinds push. The ground slides beneath it. A clear image would be useless if every gust turned the world into a blur. So the eagle needs more than powerful eyes. It needs a body that can keep those eyes steady while the sky itself is moving. The eagle's eyes can only do their work if the world stays clear enough to read. That is not simple when the bird is moving through air. A flying eagle is never truly still. Its wings lift and lower. Its tail shifts like a rudder. Its body leans into turns. Warm air rises from sunlit ground. Cooler air sinks near shaded slopes, water, or forest edges. Wind can push from the side, rise from below, or curl around a cliff face without warning. And yet, above all of that movement, the eagle's head can look strangely steady. This steadiness is one of the quiet miracles of bird flight. Many birds use rapid head and eye control to keep their view stable while the body moves. A pigeon walking on the ground seems to bob its head forward and back, but the bird is not really bobbing for no reason. It is briefly holding its head still in space, then moving the body forward underneath it. That pause gives the eyes a clearer image. The same basic need exists in the air, only now the whole sky is moving around the bird. For an eagle, a clear view is not only pleasant, It is survival. If a bald eagle is watching a fish near the surface of a lake, the fish may appear for only a second. A small flash of silver beneath rippled water. A curved back near the surface. A wake that spreads in a faint V shape. If the eagle's view shakes too much, that signal may vanish into glare. If a golden eagle is watching a rabbit on open ground, the rabbit may freeze beside a stone or shift between clumps of grass. The difference between prey and shadow can be very small. The eagle must know whether the movement is worth effort. Every unnecessary chase burns energy. Every poor angle wastes height. Every missed attempt can mean returning to the air with nothing gained. So the eagle's body works to protect its vision. The eyes send information to the brain. The inner ear helps detect balance and motion. The neck muscles make tiny corrections. The wings and tail adjust the bird's path. Together, these parts help the eagle keep the target steady in view. When the bird banks, one wing tips lower than the other. The body curves through the air. The ground begins to slide sideways beneath it, but the head can remain aimed toward the same place. A fish, a duck, a rabbit, a patch of carrion along a riverbank. Carrion means a dead animal that can become food for scavengers. Eagles will hunt when they can, but they may also feed on carrion when it is available, especially in winter when open water is limited and live prey is harder to catch. A stable gaze helps the eagle make these choices without rushing. From above, the landscape is full of small decisions. The dark line of a river channel, the pale ice near a shore, the open brown shape of a field, the moving dots of waterfowl gathered where the water has not frozen. The eagle does not need to react to everything. It needs to sort the useful from the useless. That is part of why it looks so calm. Calm, in this case, is not emptiness. It is control. The bird is constantly adjusting, but many of those adjustments are too small for a person on the ground to notice. A slight lift of the tail, a small turn of the head, a change in wing angle, a tighter circle over one patch of water. These tiny movements keep the view organized. They allow the eagle to hold one point in a wide moving world. And this makes the eagle's vision inseparable from flight. The eyes may gather the details, but the wings give the eyes time to gather them. Without flight, there is no high view. Without steadiness, there is no clear target. Without enough time in the air, patience would end too quickly. So the eagle needs wings that do more than carry it from place to place. It needs wings that can hold it above the world long enough for watching to become understanding. To stay above the world long enough to understand it, the eagle cannot rely on strength alone. Strength can lift a bird into the sky, but strength used too quickly becomes exhaustion. A large eagle may weigh as much as 8 to 14 pounds, depending on the species and sex. Female eagles are often larger than males. In bald eagles, a large female may have a wingspan of more than 7 feet. That is a wide body to keep in the air. Flapping those wings again and again would cost a great deal of energy. So eagles have learned to use the sky itself. On sunny days, the ground warms unevenly. A dark field warms faster than a pale road. A rocky slope warms faster than shaded forest. As the warm surface heats the air above it, that air begins to rise. This rising column of warm air is called a thermal. A thermal is not visible by itself. There is no clear wall or shining edge. But an eagle can feel it through lift, pressure, and the way its wings respond. When the bird enters a thermal, it may begin circling slowly. Each turn keeps it inside the rising air. Instead of fighting gravity with constant flapping, the eagle lets the warm air carry it upward. From the ground, this looks almost effortless. A dark shape turning in silence. A wide circle above a valley. A bird climbing without hurry. But the quiet movement is full of skill. The eagle must find the strongest part of the thermal. If it drifts too far to one side, the lift weakens. If the air breaks apart, the bird may sink. So it makes small adjustments, tilting its wings, spreading its tail, and changing the width of the circle. The wings are shaped for this kind of work. Eagles have broad wings that create lift at slower speeds. Lift is the upward force that helps hold a flying animal in the air. Air moves over and under the wing, and the shape of the wing helps create a pressure difference. That pressure difference helps support the bird's weight. At the tips of the wings, the long primary feathers spread apart like fingers. These are the large outer flight feathers. When they separate, they help reduce drag. Drag is the force of air resistance pulling against movement. By spreading those feathered tips, the eagle can smooth the air moving around the wing and make soaring more efficient. This is why a soaring eagle often shows a ragged-looking edge at the wingtips. Those separated feathers are not messy. They are useful. They help the bird borrow more from the air and spend less from its body. A small songbird may beat its wings many times each second. A hummingbird may blur its wings so fast they become almost invisible. But an eagle is built for a different rhythm. It does not need to hover beside a flower. It does not need to dart through a hedge. It needs to cross distance. It needs to search. It needs to stay high enough to see shorelines, open fields, river bends, patches of ice, and animals moving below. Soaring lets the eagle turn height into time. And time is one of its greatest tools. With enough time in the air, a bald eagle can follow the edge of a lake until a fish rises near the surface. A golden eagle can scan a dry hillside until a hare breaks from cover. A sea eagle can watch water birds gather in one open patch between sheets of winter ice. The bird may not act for many minutes. It may simply circle, glide, rise, and circle again. This is not laziness. It is patience supported by physics. The sun warms the land. The land warms the air. The air lifts the bird. And the bird uses that lift to keep watching. The longer it remains above the water or open ground, the more the circle begins to change. It is no longer only movement. It becomes attention. A quiet holding pattern. A slow gathering of signs. Somewhere below, a ripple forms, a rabbit shifts, a wing flashes, or a fish turns near the surface. The eagle is still circling, but the circle is beginning to choose. The circle above the water does not always become action right away. Often, it remains a circle. A bald eagle may pass over the same stretch of river again and again. Wings wide, tail spread slightly, head angled down. Below it, the surface may shine with morning light. A fish may rise once, then vanish. A duck may drift close to the reeds. A gull may lift from a sandbar with something in its beak. The eagle does not need to rush toward every sign. It can wait until the signs become clear enough. This is one of the quiet truths of hunting. Strength matters, but strength used at the wrong moment can fail. An eagle must choose the angle. It must choose the speed. It must choose the height. It must choose whether the target is close enough, exposed enough, and worth the energy. From above, water can be difficult to read. Sunlight can scatter across the surface in bright patches called glare. Glare can hide the shape of a fish or make a floating leaf look like movement. Wind can wrinkle the water, breaking one clear image into hundreds of small flashing lines. Even when a fish is visible, it is not exactly where it appears to be. Light bends when it passes from water into air. This bending is called refraction. Because of refraction, an object below the surface can seem slightly shifted from its real position. A bird that catches fish has to account for that difference. It must aim not only at what the eye sees, but at where the fish actually is. So the eagle waits. It may glide lower. It may circle wider. It may turn its head slightly, changing the angle of view. A small change in position can reduce glare or reveal movement hidden from another direction. Over open ground, the problem is different, but just as careful. A golden eagle watching a hillside may be looking for a hare, a marmot, or a ground squirrel. The prey may stay still beside a rock. Its fur may blend into dry grass. A shadow from a cloud may move across the slope and confuse the scene. The eagle must separate real movement from wind-moving plants. It must know whether the animal is far from cover or close enough to escape. The drop itself must be planned before it begins. Once the eagle commits, gravity joins the movement. The bird lowers its body. The wings angle back. The tail helps steer. Air rushes faster over the feathers. A bald eagle dropping toward water may not dive straight down like a stone. It often comes in at a slant, with feet reaching forward near the end. A golden eagle in open country may descend more steeply, using speed and surprise across a slope or valley. Different eagles use different styles because different landscapes ask for different choices. But the need is the same. The bird must turn distance into contact. Too early, and the prey may escape. Too late, and the angle is gone. Too high, and the target has time. Too low, and the eagle may lose the clean view that made the attempt possible. This is why the slow circle matters. It is not empty movement. It is measurement. Each turn gathers more information. Where the wind is coming from, how the water is moving, whether the fish is staying near the surface, whether another bird is carrying food, whether the open field below is safe enough for a landing, whether a branch, cliff, or shoreline can be used afterward. From the ground, the eagle may seem calm in a way that feels almost royal. But the calm is built from attention. It is the patience of an animal that cannot afford to waste its power. The broad wings keep it above the scene. The eyes hold the small details. The body waits until the air, the angle, and the movement below begin to line up. Then the circle changes. the slow path tightens. The head fixes on one place. The wings adjust. Height begins to pour downward. For a few quiet seconds, everything the eagle has been reading becomes one motion. The watching ends. The distance closes. And all that patience gathers into the feet. The distance closes through the feet. For all the eagle's height, patience, eyesight, and wing control, the final moment depends on a pair of tools that look almost simple from far away. 2 feet, 8 toes, curved talons. But those feet are not ordinary bird feet, made only for perching. They are living clamps, shaped by millions of years of hunting, landing, holding, and balancing. Each foot has 4 toes. 3 usually point forward. 1 points backward. That rear toe is called the hallux. In many raptors, the hallux carries the largest and strongest talon. It works like the back part of a gripping hand, closing against the forward toes and helping lock prey in place. When an eagle reaches forward near the end of a drop, the feet open. The toes spread. The talons angle toward the target. For a bald eagle over water, that target may be a fish near the surface. For a golden eagle over open country, it may be a rabbit, a hare, or another small animal moving through grass or rock. The strike is not only about sharpness, it is about holding. A fish is slippery. Its scales are smooth. Its body twists hard the moment it leaves the water. A branch can be uneven. A rock ledge can be narrow. A landing can bring the bird's full body weight down onto one small place. So the eagle's feet must do many jobs at once. They must grab food. They must hold through movement. They must absorb force. They must grip branches in wind. They must carry weight without losing balance. The skin on the bottom of an eagle's foot is rough and textured. This rough surface helps create friction, which is the grip between 2 surfaces. Without friction, a wet fish could slide free more easily. The talons add another layer of hold. They are made of keratin, the same tough material found in beaks, claws, and human fingernails. But in an eagle, keratin grows into long curved points. Those curves matter. A straight point might pierce, but a curved talon can hook and hold. Once the toes close, the shape helps keep the target from slipping away. Inside the foot, tendons help the toes tighten. Tendons are strong cords that connect muscles to bones. In many birds, the foot can grip with great strength when the leg bends, which is why birds can perch securely for long periods. For raptors, that gripping system becomes part of survival. The eagle does not have hands. It does not have teeth. It cannot carry tools. Its feet are the place where the air meets the animal world below. Even landing shows how important they are. A large eagle approaching a branch must slow its body, lift its head, spread its tail, bring its feet forward, and wrap its toes around the perch in one smooth movement. If the branch is wet, angled, or moving in wind, the grip must adjust instantly. The talons touch first, then the toes close, then the body settles. What looked like one simple landing is really a chain of small corrections. The same is true near water. A bald eagle may skim low with its legs reaching down, talons just above the surface. It cannot pause in the air the way a hummingbird can. It must time the reach carefully. Too deep, and the bird risks being pulled by the weight and drag of the fish. Too shallow, and the talons may miss. The whole moment is balanced between speed and restraint. This is why the eagle's power is quieter than it first appears. The strike is brief, but it is prepared by everything before it. The eyes, the wings, the circle, the angle, the wind, the opening of the toes, the closing of the hallux, and then, just as quickly, the eagle must become something else again. Not only a hunter, not only a symbol of force, a practical animal, making use of what the landscape gives. Because in the real world, survival does not always belong to the most dramatic strike. Sometimes it belongs to the bird that knows when to hunt, when to wait, when to take what is already there, and when to let another creature do part of the work. The eagle's life becomes clearer when it is seen beside water. A bald eagle is often found near lakes, rivers, marshes, reservoirs, and ocean coasts. Not because the scenery is grand, not because the bird is trying to match the image humans gave it, but because water gathers food. A lake holds fish near the surface. A river carries salmon, trout, suckers, and other animals through narrow channels. A wetland draws ducks, geese, gulls, and small mammals to its edges. A coastline leaves behind tide pools, stranded fish, shellfish scraps, and the remains of animals washed onto shore. For a bald eagle, these places are not just beautiful, they are practical. The scientific name of the bald eagle is Haliaeetus leucocephalus. The first part, Haliaeetus, means sea eagle. That name fits the bird's habits. Bald eagles do not need the open ocean to survive, but they are strongly tied to water. Across much of North America, they nest near rivers and lakes where fish are available. In Alaska and British Columbia, bald eagles gather in large numbers along salmon streams when fish return from the sea. In winter, they may gather near dams, power plants, or fast-moving river bends where water stays open after nearby lakes freeze. Open water can mean open food. Fish are often the main part of the bald eagle's diet. The bird may catch them near the surface with its talons, especially when fish are slow, injured, spawning, or trapped in shallow water. But bald eagles are not only hunters, they are also scavengers. A scavenger feeds on animals that are already dead. This may seem less noble than the clean image of an eagle dropping from the sky. But in nature, scavenging is sensible. A dead fish on a sandbar still contains energy. A deer carcass near a frozen river can help an eagle through winter. A washed-up salmon after spawning is not wasted if an eagle, raven, bear, gull, or fox can feed from it. The wild world does not separate food into graceful and ungraceful categories. It separates food into available and unavailable. The bald eagle understands this without needing to think of it that way. It may also take food from other birds. This behavior is called kleptoparasitism. The word sounds complicated, but the idea is simple. One animal steals food, another animal has already caught. A bald eagle may chase an osprey carrying a fish until the osprey drops it. Then the eagle may turn, catch the falling fish, or retrieve it from the water. Ospreys are skilled fish hunters, with feet specially adapted for gripping slippery prey. Their outer toe can rotate backward, giving them 2 toes forward and 2 back, almost like a stronger clamp for fish. But a bald eagle is larger and more powerful, and sometimes that size lets it take advantage of another bird's work. This makes the eagle less like a perfect emblem and more like a real creature. It hunts, it waits, it scavenges, it steals when the chance is useful. It watches gulls, crows, ravens, ospreys, waterfowl, and even other eagles. A shoreline is full of information. A group of gulls gathering in one spot may reveal food. A raven circling low may show where carrion lies. An osprey flying with heavy wing beats may be carrying a fish. A patch of shallow water may hold fish close enough to reach. The eagle's power is partly physical, but it is also behavioral. It knows how to read other animals. It knows when effort is worth spending. It knows when the easiest meal is not the one it catches itself. There is a quiet honesty in that. The bald eagle is not less impressive because it is practical. It is more alive, more real, more closely tied to the actual shorelines where it lives. The noble shape above the lake is also a bird making daily decisions about hunger, energy, weather, and chance. And once the eagle becomes a survivor instead of a perfect icon, the story begins to widen. Because the bald eagle is only one answer to one kind of landscape. Across the world, other eagles have been shaped by forests, mountains, deserts, islands, cliffs, grasslands, and seas. The word eagle opens into many birds, each carrying a different version of strength. The word eagle sounds simple at first. It feels like it should point to one clear animal, a wide-winged bird, a high hunter, a shape above water, cliffs, or trees. But in science, eagle is not the name of one single species. It is a common name used for many large raptors that share a general form. Strong feet, hooked beaks, sharp eyesight, broad wings, a way of living that often depends on height, distance, and sudden force. Most eagles belong within the larger hawk and eagle family, called Accipitridae. This family includes hawks, kites, harriers, Old World vultures, and many eagles. The group is large and varied. Some members are small, quick forest hunters. Others are huge birds that circle over mountains or coastlines. So an eagle is not one exact design. It is more like a repeated idea that nature has shaped in different places. The bald eagle is one kind of answer. It is a sea eagle. Its life is tied to fish, open water, shorelines, and tall trees near rivers or lakes. Its white head and dark body have made it one of the most recognizable birds in North America. But across the world, other eagles carry very different lives. The golden eagle belongs to open country. Its feathers are dark brown, with golden brown tones along the back of the head and neck. It is found across parts of North America, Europe, Asia, and North Africa. Instead of living mainly around fish-rich water, it often hunts over cliffs, grasslands, tundra, deserts, and mountain slopes. Its world is not the shining lake as much as the long ridge, the dry valley, and the open hillside. There are also serpent eagles. These birds are found in parts of Asia and Africa, and many are adapted to hunting reptiles, especially snakes. A serpent eagle may sit quietly on a branch at the edge of a clearing, watching the ground below for slow, hidden movement. Its strength is not always shown in a dramatic plunge from a great height. Sometimes it is shown in waiting above warm earth, reading leaves, shadows, and the thin curve of a snake moving through grass. Then there are forest eagles. Some live in thick tropical forests, where the sky is broken into green pieces by branches and leaves. The harpy eagle of Central and South America is one of the most powerful examples. It hunts in rainforest canopy, where monkeys, sloths, and large birds may move through trees far above the ground. Its wings are shorter and broader compared with many open country eagles, helping it move through tighter spaces. In a forest, long, narrow wings would be harder to control between trunks and vines, so the body changes with the place. A sea eagle needs water. A golden eagle needs open distance. A serpent eagle needs patient watching near the ground. A forest eagle needs power that can fit between trees. The name eagle gathers all of them together, but each bird has been shaped by its own landscape. This makes the symbol richer, not weaker. When humans say eagle, they often picture one grand bird above everything. But the living world gives us many eagles. Some are pale-headed fish hunters. Some are dark mountain birds. Some watch for snakes in warm forests. Some move through rainforest shadows with feet large enough to hold animals that live in trees. The eagle is not one image frozen in the sky. It is a pattern repeated across continents. Where there is open air, water, forest, cliff, heat, prey, and room enough for a large raptor to survive, the eagle shape can appear in a different form. The bald eagle gave us the shoreline version. A bird of rivers, lakes, salmon runs, winter ice, and tall nesting trees. But once the view widens beyond the water, the eagle begins to change. The air becomes drier. The trees grow thinner. The land opens into ridges, cliffs, grass, stone, and long distances. And over that open country, another eagle carries the same idea in a different body. Over the open ridges, the eagle takes on a different shape. The golden eagle is darker than the bald eagle, without the bright white head and tail. Its body is mostly deep brown. Along the back of the head and neck, the feathers can glow with a warm golden color when sunlight touches them. That golden wash gives the bird its name. The scientific name is Aquila chrysaetus. Aquila means eagle in Latin. Chrysaetus comes from Greek words linked to gold and eagle. Even the name carries the image of a dark bird catching light along the mountain air. Golden eagles are found across much of the northern hemisphere. They live in parts of North America, Europe, Asia, and North Africa. In North America, they are most often connected with the West, where open land stretches across deserts, cliffs, grasslands, tundra, and mountain slopes. They can also be found in parts of eastern Canada and other northern regions, especially where the land gives them enough space to hunt. Their world is different from the bald eagle's shoreline. There may be no wide lake beneath them, no salmon stream, no wetland full of ducks. Instead, there are stone ledges, dry washes, open valleys, sagebrush, prairie grass, and long ridge lines where wind rises against the slope. A ridge is more than a place to perch. It can shape the air. When wind hits a mountain or cliff, it is pushed upward. A golden eagle can use that rising air to glide along the land with very little flapping. The bird may follow the edge of a canyon or the side of a hill, letting the wind lift its wings as it watches the ground below. Its prey is often hidden in the open. That sounds strange, but open land has its own kind of cover. A rabbit can freeze beside a pale rock. A hare can crouch in dry grass. A ground squirrel can disappear into a burrow. A marmot can sit near the entrance of its den, ready to drop underground at the first sign of danger. The golden eagle must read small movements across large spaces. A twitch of an ear, a shift in brown fur, a body breaking from cover for only a few seconds. Rabbits and hares are common prey in many areas. So are ground squirrels, prairie dogs, marmots, and other medium-sized mammals. In some places, golden eagles also take birds, reptiles, or carrion when the chance appears. Carrion, again, means an animal that is already dead. Like the bald eagle, the golden eagle is not too proud to use an easier meal, but its body feels especially matched to open ground. Its long, broad wings help it soar. Its strong feet help it seize animals that may kick, twist, or try to reach cover. Its dark feathers blend well with cliffs, soil, and shadow. From a distance, a perched golden eagle may look like part of the rock itself, still and watchful on a ledge. The hunting style can be quiet for a long time, then suddenly very direct. A golden eagle may glide low along a slope, using the shape of the land to stay hidden until it is close. It may drop from above with wings partly folded. It may angle across a hillside instead of falling straight down. The land decides the path. A cliff, a ravine, a patch of grass, or a burrow entrance can change the whole attempt. Compared with the bald eagle, the golden eagle feels less tied to water and more tied to distance. The bald eagle often reads the shimmer of lakes and rivers. The golden eagle reads brown hills, open wind, and the small living motions of mammals on land. Both are eagles. Both are powerful, but their power is shaped by different worlds. One may wait above a winter river where fish gather below the ice. The other may ride a dry mountain current, watching a hare move through sagebrush far below. The same eagle idea has become two different lives. And still, open air is not the only place where that idea can survive. Beyond the ridges and grasslands, some eagles live where distance nearly disappears. The sky breaks into leaves. Branches hide the path. Prey moves through green shadows instead of open ground. There, the eagle cannot simply rule the wide air. It has to carry power into the forest. Where the forest rises thick and tall, the eagle changes again. The wide open sky becomes a broken thing. It appears only in pieces. A pale strip above the canopy, a small blue opening between leaves, a flash of light falling through vines and branches. In this world, distance is shorter, sound is muffled, movement is hidden. A bird that depends only on long open flight would struggle here, but some eagles belong to the green dark. One of the most powerful is the harpy eagle. Its scientific name is Harpia harpigia. It lives in tropical forests of Central and South America, from southern Mexico through parts of the Amazon basin. A large female harpy eagle can weigh more than 20 pounds, making it one of the heaviest eagles in the world. Its legs are thick. Its feet are enormous. Its talons can be longer than the claws of a grizzly bear. But the harpy eagle does not use that power in the same way a golden eagle does over open country. It does not spend its life sweeping across dry ridges for miles. It hunts inside a living maze. The rainforest canopy is the high layer of branches and leaves where many animals live. There, monkeys move from limb to limb. Sloths hang from branches. Large birds call from hidden perches. Green leaves overlap in hundreds of layers. A harpy eagle may wait quietly on a high branch, almost still, while the forest moves around it. Its grey head, dark chest band, pale underside, and raised crown feathers help it blend into shade and broken light. The bird may listen. It may turn its head. It may watch one tree for a long time before moving. In a forest, prey does not always appear on open ground. It may be above, beside, or partly hidden behind leaves. A sloth can move so slowly that it seems like part of the branch. A monkey can vanish behind a trunk in a single leap. A large bird can pass through foliage and disappear before the eye fully catches it. So power has to be controlled. A forest eagle cannot simply spread long wings and drift in a wide circle. There is no room for that. Branches would block the path. Vines would catch the wings. Trunks would break the line of flight. This is why many forest eagles have shorter, broader wings compared with eagles of open country. Shorter wings can turn more easily. Broader wings can create lift at lower speeds. Together, they help a large bird move through tighter spaces. The shape is not weak. It is specialized. The same body that might seem less graceful in open sky becomes useful among trees. The harpy eagle's tail is also important. A tail can help steer and brake, like a rudder on a boat. In forest hunting, quick control matters. The eagle may launch from a perch, pass between branches, open its talons, and strike in a space where a single wrong angle could mean hitting wood instead of prey. Other forest eagles show the same lesson in different forms. The Philippine eagle, Pithecia jeffreyi, lives in forests of the Philippines and is one of the world's largest eagles by length and wingspan. It hunts animals such as flying lemurs, monkeys, birds, and reptiles. In Africa, the crowned eagle, Stephanoetus coronatus, hunts in forests and woodlands, often taking mammals from the canopy or forest floor. Each one carries eagle power into a place where power must be careful. The forest does not reward only speed. It rewards timing, silence, short bursts, strong feet, and the ability to move through clutter. This makes forest eagles feel different from the birds over lakes and ridges. The bald eagle reads water. The golden eagle reads open land. The harpy eagle reads branches, shadows, and the slow hidden movements of animals in trees. Each habitat writes itself into the body. Long wings for open air, broad wings for tight spaces, strong feet for gripping prey, sharp eyes for sorting shape from shadow. But every strength carries a cost. A bird built for the forest may not cross open distance as easily as a bird built for soaring. A bird built for heavy prey needs enough large animals to feed it. A bird that nests in old tall trees depends on forests that remain standing. The more powerful the eagle becomes, the more it needs from the world around it. Strength is never free. It is always tied to food, space, timing, and place. Strength in an eagle is never separate from need. A large body can carry power through the air. It can hold broad wings open against rising wind. It can grip heavy prey, defend a nest, and travel across wide country. But every part of that size must be fed. A small songbird may survive on seeds, insects, berries, and quick movements through shrubs. It can hide in thin branches. It can slip into bushes. It can live on small bits of food gathered many times through the day. An eagle lives by a different balance. Its body is larger. Its muscles are heavier. Its wings are wider. Its meals must contain enough energy to support flight, warmth, feather growth, hunting, nesting, and long hours of watching. A bald eagle weighing 10 pounds may not sound heavy compared with a human. But for a flying bird, 10 pounds is a serious load. Every ounce has to be lifted. Every climb into the air costs energy. Every missed strike has a price. This is why soaring matters so much. Broad wings help an eagle stay aloft with less flapping. A bald eagle's wings may stretch more than 7 feet across. A golden eagle's wings can reach similar widths. Those wings create lift beautifully in open air, especially when warm air rises from land or wind, moves up a ridge. But size helps most when there is room to use it. A long wing that works well over a valley can become harder to manage in a dense forest. Branches leave narrow gaps. Tree trunks break the line of movement. Vines, leaves, and tangled limbs can turn flight into a careful passage. That is why open country eagles and forest eagles are shaped differently. A golden eagle can ride wide air over cliffs and grassland. A harpy eagle needs shorter, broader wings to move through the canopy. Neither shape is better in every place. Each one is a bargain with the landscape. To be large is to gain reach, strength, and presence. It is also to lose some freedom in tight spaces. A powerful predator may seem safe because it sits near the top of the food chain. But top predators depend on everything below them. If fish vanish from a lake, the bald eagle loses more than food. It loses the reason to stay near that shore. If rabbits, hares, marmots, or ground squirrels decline across open land, a golden eagle must travel farther or spend more time searching. If old forest trees are cut before they can hold huge nests, a forest eagle may lose the place where its young can safely begin. The problem is not only hunger, it is space. Large raptors often need wide territories because their food is spread out. A pair of eagles cannot nest successfully in a place that offers only a beautiful view. There must be enough prey. There must be strong nesting support. There must be safe approaches for flight. There must be perches for watching. There must be enough distance from disturbance for eggs and chicks to survive. Even the nest can reflect the cost of size. Large eagles need large structures. A nest must hold adults growing young, sticks, lining material, and repeated movement. It must survive wind, rain, heat, snow, and the weight of many seasons. A small bird can tuck a nest into reeds or branches. An eagle may need a tall tree, a cliff ledge, or another strong place that can carry a much greater load. So the eagle's life is not effortless rule over the sky. It is a careful exchange. Height gives vision. Wings give distance. Talons give grip. Size gives power. But each gift asks something back from the world. Food, space, old trees, open air, healthy water, living prey. The eagle appears independent because it moves so far above the ground. Yet its life is tied to the ground in every direction. The animal that looks most free is still held by invisible needs. And those needs gather most clearly in the one place where flight slows down, where power becomes care, and where the wide sky leads back to a nest. The eagle's needs gather most clearly in the nest. After all the height, wind, distance, and motion, the eagle returns to one fixed place. A fork in a tall tree, a cliff ledge above a valley, a strong branch near water, a wide platform of sticks that may be used again and again. For a bald eagle, the nest is often built in a large tree near a lake, river, marsh, or coastline. The water matters because it brings fish, waterfowl, and other food close enough for the adults to hunt or scavenge. The height matters because it gives the pair a broad view of the surrounding area. From a tall pine, cottonwood, spruce, or cypress, an eagle can watch the shoreline, the open water, the nearby trees, and the sky around the nest. The nest itself can become enormous. Bald eagles often return to the same nest year after year if the site remains safe. Each breeding season, they may add new sticks, grass, moss, bark, or softer lining material. Over time, the structure grows. A nest that began as a platform can become a heavy mass several feet wide. Some bald eagle nests have reached more than 8 feet across and weighed hundreds of pounds. One famous nest in Florida was reported to be around 9.5 feet wide, 20 feet deep, and close to 2 tons in weight. That is larger than many people expect from a bird nest. But the size makes sense when the nest is seen as a long-term structure, not a temporary bed. Small birds may weave a cup of grass, hair, and twigs for one season. A robin's nest may fit comfortably in 2 hands. A hummingbird nest may be smaller than a walnut. An eagle nest is different. It must hold large adults. It must hold eggs. It must hold growing chicks that become heavier each week. It must handle food deliveries, shifting feet, wind, rain, snow, and the repeated use of powerful talons. The nest becomes almost like a second body for the pair. It extends their reach into the landscape. It marks a territory. It gives the adults a place to return to after circling, hunting, and watching. It holds the center of their year. During the breeding season, the nest is not quiet in the way an empty branch is quiet. It becomes active in small, steady ways. One adult may arrive carrying a stick in its feet. Another may adjust the lining with its beak. A fish may be brought in and torn into pieces. Feathers may collect along the edge. Fresh green branches may be added, possibly helping keep the nest cleaner or cooler. The shape is constantly maintained. A stick placed badly can be moved. A soft hollow can be shaped where eggs will rest. The rim can be built higher. The center can be pressed lower. This work is not decoration. It is preparation. The nest has to hold warmth. It has to drain water. It has to give the adults room to stand without crushing what lies beneath them. It has to keep eggs and chicks from rolling toward the edge. The eagle that seems most free in the sky is, for part of the year, deeply tied to this one structure. Its wide travels bend back toward the same tree. Its hunting routes begin and end around the same high platform. Its strength becomes care. Its talons, which can grip prey, must also step carefully near eggs. Its beak, which can tear food, must also offer small pieces to a chick. The nest changes the meaning of power. Power is not only the drop from the sky, it is also the return, the repair, the careful placing of sticks, the long hours of watching from a nearby branch. And inside that huge structure, after all the wind and distance, the next generation begins as something small, still, and fragile. Inside the huge nest, the beginning is very small. After the sticks, the high tree, the wide view, and the powerful adults, the future of an eagle may rest in one pale egg. A bald eagle usually lays 1 to 3 eggs in a clutch. A clutch means the full group of eggs laid for one nesting attempt. The eggs are dull white, not brightly colored, and they are often close to 3 inches long. They look quiet against the deep bowl of sticks, grass, moss, and softer lining. But each egg is active in its own hidden way. The shell is hard enough to protect the life inside, but it is not sealed like stone. It has tiny pores, too small to see easily, that allow oxygen to pass in and carbon dioxide to pass out. The growing chick needs air even before it has entered the open world. The shell has to be strong, but it also has to breathe. That balance is delicate. If the shell is too weak, it can break too soon. If the shell is too thick or damaged in the wrong way, the chick may struggle to develop properly. So even the egg is a kind of careful design. A small white chamber holding warmth, air, food from the yolk, and time. For bald eagles, incubation usually lasts about 35 days. Incubation means keeping the eggs warm enough for development. Both adults may help, though the female often does more of the sitting. The adult lowers its body carefully over the eggs, using a warm patch of bare or thinly feathered skin on the belly called a brood patch. This patch helps body heat pass directly to the eggs. From outside the nest, it may look like the eagle is only resting, but the stillness is work. The eggs must stay warm through cold mornings, night air, spring rain, wind, and sometimes late snow. If the adult stands, the movement is careful. Large talons step around fragile shells. A body built to seize fish and land on heavy branches must now become gentle enough to protect something breakable. The nest, so large from the outside, becomes a quiet circle of care. Weather can change everything. A strong storm can rock the tree. Heavy rain can soak the nest lining. Cold wind can pull heat away from the eggs. In hot sun, the adult may shade the nest, keeping the eggs from overheating. Eagles do not control the weather. they can only respond to it. They shift position, they cover, they wait. They bring in new material when the nest needs repair. Food matters too. An incubating adult cannot hunt as freely as before. The other adult may need to bring fish, waterfowl, or carrion to the nest area. If food is scarce, the balance becomes harder. One bird must keep the eggs warm, while the pair still needs enough energy to survive. Even disturbance near the nest can affect success. If people, vehicles, loud activity, or repeated close movement cause adults to leave the eggs for too long, the eggs may cool or become exposed. A nest may sit high above the ground, but it is not separate from what happens around it. The quiet place in the tree depends on the whole surrounding landscape. Clean water, available food, strong branches, enough space, enough calm. This is the softer side of the eagle's strength. The bird that can ride thermals and watch a shoreline from high above must also sit through hours of almost complete stillness. The bird that can close its talons around a slippery fish must also turn an egg with care. Egg turning is important because it helps the developing chick stay positioned properly and keeps internal parts from settling in one place. A small motion of the beak or foot can help keep life inside the shell growing as it should. Nothing about this stage looks like the symbol humans carved into seals and flags. There is no wide-wing command, no sharp drop from the sky, no white head glowing above a river, only a nest, a waiting adult, a pale egg, a season of warmth held against weather. And yet this is where the eagle begins. Before the high flight, before the steady gaze, before the strong feet and open wings, there is dependence. The powerful bird starts as a hidden life inside a breakable shell. And after weeks of warmth and waiting, that shell must open into something that still cannot fly. When the shell opens, the eagle is still far from the sky. A newly hatched eagle is small, weak, and covered in soft down. Down is the fine, fluffy feathering that helps keep a young bird warm before its stronger flight feathers grow in. The chick cannot fly. It cannot hunt. It cannot tear food well on its own. It depends almost completely on the adults and the nest beneath it. For a bald eagle, the first weeks are a season of fast change. The chick grows quickly, fed by small pieces of fish, waterfowl, mammals, or carrion brought by the parents. At first, the adult tears the food into tiny bits and offers them carefully. The chick lifts its head, opens its beak, and takes what it can. Day by day, the body strengthens. The neck steadies. The legs grow thicker. The feet become more useful. The soft down begins to give way to darker juvenile feathers. A young bald eagle does not look like the adult on flags and emblems. It does not have the clean white head. It does not have the bright white tail. Its body is mostly dark brown, often with mottled patches of white across the wings, belly, and underparts. That patchy look can last for years. The famous adult pattern usually does not fully appear until around 5 years of age. So for a long time, the young eagle carries a different face into the world. Less polished, less symbolic, more like a rough draft of the powerful bird it may become. Inside the nest, the young eagle has to learn its own body. its wings grow large before it knows how to use them. A young eagle may stand near the edge of the nest and flap hard, lifting bits of grass, feathers, and dust into the air. This practice is often called wing-sizing. It looks simple, but it builds muscle and coordination. The breast muscles strengthen. The joints learn the motion. The bird begins to feel how air pushes against feathers. Balance becomes part of the lesson too. An eagle nest can be wide, but it is still high above the ground. A young bird must step around sticks, food scraps, siblings, and uneven edges. It may hop from one side of the nest to the other. It may grip a branch beside the nest. This early movement from nest to nearby branches is often called branching. Branching gives the young eagle a larger practice space before real flight begins. For bald eagles, the first true flight often happens around 10 to 14 weeks after hatching. That first flight is called fledging. Fledging does not mean the bird has mastered the sky. It means the bird has left the nest in flight for the first time. The moment can look awkward. The wings may beat unevenly. The landing may be rough. The young eagle may glide to a nearby tree, miss the perfect branch, or drop lower than planned. A body built for air still has to learn the air. The first flight carries risk because the young bird must control lift, speed, balance, and landing all at once. Lift is the upward force that helps hold the bird in the air. But lift depends on wing angle, airspeed, feather position, and body control. The young eagle cannot simply own these things because it has wings. It has to practice them. Parents may continue bringing food for weeks after fledging. The young eagle stays near the nest area, calling, waiting, trying short flights, and learning where to perch. It watches the adults. It tests its wings. It begins to understand trees, wind, water, and distance from outside the safety of the nest. The bird that once sat hidden in a pale egg is now visible against branches and sky. But it is not yet the eagle humans imagine. It is still uncertain, still learning, still brown and mottled, still tied to the place where it began. And when it finally moves farther from the nest, the story does not become simple freedom. The young eagle enters a wider world without a territory of its own, carrying strong wings into years of wandering, searching, and becoming. The young eagle leaves the nest before it fully belongs anywhere. It may have wings large enough to cross a river. It may have talons strong enough to grip a branch. It may have eyes that can notice motion far below. But it does not yet have the full life of an adult. For a bald eagle, the years after fledging are often years of movement. The young bird may travel away from the nest area, following shorelines, rivers, open water, and food. It may move north, south, inland, or along a coast, depending on the season and the region where it hatched. Some young eagles wander hundreds of miles. Others stay closer to familiar feeding areas if food remains available. The pattern is not as simple as a straight migration from one place to another. It is more like exploration. The bird is learning where water stays open in winter, where fish are easiest to find, where other eagles gather, where tall trees stand near feeding places, where human activity is too close, where the landscape still offers enough room. A juvenile bald eagle does not yet carry the clear adult signal of the white head and white tail. Its feathers are mostly brown, with uneven patches of white scattered across the body and wings. The beak is darker at first. The eyes are darker too. Year by year, the bird changes. The head becomes paler. The tail becomes whiter. The beak shifts toward yellow. The whole bird slowly moves toward the adult pattern that people recognize so quickly. This usually takes about 5 years. That number matters. The eagle used in symbols often looks complete, bright-headed, steady, and certain. But the living eagle spends years becoming that shape. For a long time, it is neither a chick nor a settled adult. It is something in between. Strong but inexperienced. Free but not established. Capable of flight but still learning where flight should lead. During these wandering years, young bald eagles may gather where food is abundant. A salmon run can draw many eagles to one river system. A wintering area with open water can become crowded when lakes freeze elsewhere. A landfill, fish processing site, or large carrion source may attract eagles too, though these places can bring risks along with food. Young birds learn by watching the movements of other eagles. They may see where adults perch, where birds fight over food, where feeding is safe, where danger appears. The world teaches them through repetition. A frozen lake teaches that not all water gives access to fish. A fast river bend teaches that current can keep a feeding place open. A crowded shoreline teaches that food can attract conflict. A quiet forest edge teaches that a perch can be valuable even when nothing happens for a long time. Golden eagles also pass through a long early period before breeding. Young golden eagles may roam across large open regions, following prey, weather, and seasonal conditions. They do not simply become rulers of cliffs because they can fly. They must survive long enough to find an open territory, a suitable nesting area, and enough prey to support breeding. In many eagle species, adulthood is not only a matter of growing bigger. It is a matter of claiming a place in a world that is already occupied. Good territories are not empty forever. An adult pair may hold a nesting area for years. A young eagle passing through may be chased away. It may circle over a valley and find that another eagle is already there. It may land near a feeding site and learn that size alone does not decide everything. Experience matters. Timing matters. Knowing when to approach and when to leave matters. This long, immature period makes the eagle feel less like a sudden symbol and more like a slow life. The white-headed bird above the lake carries years inside it. Years of brown feathers, cold mornings, uncertain landings, crowded feeding places, long flights over unfamiliar rivers, seasons spent watching other birds and testing the edges of the world. The adult eagle looks complete because the difficult becoming is mostly hidden. By the time the head is white and the tail is bright, the bird has already crossed many places and survived many small tests. Eventually, wandering alone is not enough. The eagle needs more than open sky. It needs a place that can hold a nest, provide food, offer perches, and remain quiet enough for young to grow. The search for movement slowly becomes the search for home. The search for home begins to narrow the eagle's world again. After the wandering years, an adult eagle does not need only a place to land. It needs a place that can support a whole pattern of life. Food nearby, a strong nesting site, open air for leaving and returning, tall perches for watching, enough quiet around the nest for eggs and young to survive. For a bald eagle, the best territory often begins with water. A lake with fish, a river with open bends, a marsh with ducks and muskrats, a coastline where tides, fish, gulls and carrion gather along the shore. The water is not just scenery, it is the center of the food map. Near that water, the eagle also needs height. A tall tree gives the adults a wide view of the area. In many places, bald eagles choose large trees close to shore, often within a short flight of feeding areas. The tree must be strong enough to hold a heavy nest. It must have branches wide enough for landing. It must stand in a place where the adults can approach without fighting through too many branches. The path into the nest matters. A bird with a 7-foot wingspan needs room. It cannot slip into a tiny gap the way a warbler or sparrow can. It needs an open approach, a clean angle through the air, and enough space to slow down before landing. This is why the shape of the habitat matters. A perfect food source is less useful if there is no safe place to nest. A perfect tree is less useful if food is too far away. A quiet forest is less useful if the water nearby is empty. The territory is not one object. It is a working arrangement. Water, trees, prey, wind, distance, and safety all have to fit together. Golden eagles make a different kind of territory. They may use cliffs, ledges, steep slopes, or large trees in open country. Their nests may sit on rock faces overlooking valleys, grasslands, desert basins, or mountain ridges. From there, they can watch for rabbits, hares, ground squirrels, marmots, and other animals moving across open land. A cliff can act like a wall of stone and air. Wind rises along it. Prey moves below it. The nest sits above danger, but still close enough to hunting ground. In both bald eagles and golden eagles, territory is shaped by competition. A good place may already be taken. Adult pairs may defend nesting areas from other eagles. They may call, circle, chase, or display in the air. To a person watching from below, these movements may look graceful, but they can also be part of a serious boundary. This tree is occupied. This stretch of river is watched. This cliff is already claimed. Pair bonds can make the connection to place even stronger. Many eagle pairs remain together for years, especially if they successfully raise young. They may return to the same nest again and again, adding sticks each season, repairing damage, and keeping the structure active. The nest becomes a record of return, a fresh branch placed on old branches, a new lining pressed into last year's hollow, a familiar perch used again after winter. A territory can hold memory without needing words. It holds the marks of repeated use. The same landing branch worn smooth. The same river bend scanned in morning light. The same tree standing above the same stretch of shore. But the territory also has limits. Too much disturbance near an active nest can cause stress. Repeated noise, close approach, construction, or heavy activity can change how safely adults behave. If adults leave eggs or small chicks too long, warmth and protection can be lost. If shoreline trees are removed, nesting options shrink. If prey declines, adults may have to travel farther, leaving the nest less guarded. The eagle that seems to belong to the sky is quietly bound to the condition of the land below. Its territory is written in trees and wind, but also in fish, mammals, water quality, old growth, open space, and distance from danger. To understand an eagle's home is to understand that no eagle lives alone in the symbol of itself. It lives inside a system. The river feeds it. The tree holds it. The wind lifts it. The prey sustains it. And when that system weakens, even the strongest wings begin to depend on things far below them. The eagle's territory is not only a place on a map, it is a web of living connections. A food web is the pattern of who eats what, who competes with whom, and how energy moves through an ecosystem. It is different from a simple food chain. A food chain sounds like one straight line. A plant feeds an insect. An insect feeds a bird. A bird feeds a larger animal. But real nature is rarely that neat. A lake, forest, marsh, or coastline is more like woven thread. Fish feed on smaller fish, insects, plankton, or plant material. Waterfowl feed on plants, seeds, shellfish, or small aquatic animals. Small mammals feed on grasses, roots, seeds, and leaves. Dead animals return energy to scavengers, insects, bacteria, fungi, and soil. The eagle enters this web from above, but it is still inside it. It may be a predator when it catches a fish near the surface. It may be a scavenger when it feeds on a salmon that has finished spawning. It may be a competitor when it chases an osprey, gull, raven, or another eagle away from food. It may be a parent when it carries pieces of fish back to the nest for young that cannot yet feed themselves. All of these roles belong to the same bird. The eagle is not separate from nature. It is one of the ways nature moves energy from place to place. A bald eagle near a northern river may depend on fish runs. Salmon are a clear example. When salmon return from the ocean to spawn in freshwater streams, they bring nutrients from the sea back into forests and river valleys. Bears, eagles, ravens, gulls, insects, and many other animals feed from that return. Bits of fish left behind can even enrich the soil near the stream. In that way, an eagle feeding along a salmon river is connected not only to the fish, but to the ocean, the current, the forest floor, and the trees that grow beside the water. A golden eagle in open country is connected differently. Its life may depend on rabbits, hares, prairie dogs, ground squirrels, marmots, or other small and medium-sized mammals. Those animals depend on grasses, seeds, roots, burrows, soil, rainfall, and open land. If grasslands are healthy, prey may be more available. If burrow systems remain active, mammals have places to live. If open country is broken apart too heavily, hunting can become harder. The eagle's strength depends on the small lives below it. Even carrion connects eagles to the larger system. Carrion means the remains of an animal that has already died. a deer near a winter field, a fish on a riverbank, or a water bird along a shore can become food for eagles, vultures, ravens, coyotes, foxes, beetles, and microbes. This may seem quiet and ordinary, but it is one of nature's most important forms of cleanup. Nothing useful is left outside the circle for long. Energy moves onward. The eagle's beak and talons are part of that movement. So are the insects that arrive later. So are the unseen bacteria and fungi that return what remains to the soil. A strong eagle population can sometimes suggest that the surrounding habitat is still offering what eagles need. Enough food. Tall nesting trees or safe cliff ledges. Water that can support fish. Wetlands that can support waterfowl. Open land that can support mammals. Enough space for adults to nest without constant disturbance. This does not mean eagles alone prove an ecosystem is perfect. Nature is too complex for one bird to tell the whole story, but eagles can be a visible sign. When a bald eagle pair returns to the same nest year after year, when young birds grow there, when adults find food within reach, something in that place is still working. The river is still giving. The trees are still holding. The air still has room for wings. This makes the eagle more meaningful than a symbol of power. It becomes a measure of connection. The bird above the water is linked to fish below the surface. The bird above the ridge is linked to burrows in the grass. The bird at the nest is linked to every meal carried back in its feet. And because the eagle is so connected, it is also vulnerable. If the water changes, the fish change. If the forest changes, the nest sites change. If prey becomes scarce, the open sky can feel suddenly empty. Even the strongest bird can decline when the web beneath it begins to weaken. When the web beneath the eagle weakened, the bird above it weakened too. For much of North American history, bald eagles were seen as strong, wild, and almost untouchable. They appeared on the Great Seal of the United States in 1782. They were printed on coins, carved into public buildings, placed on flags, and used as a sign of national strength. But a symbol cannot keep a living animal safe. By the middle of the 20th century, bald eagles had declined sharply across much of the lower 48 states. The bird that seemed permanent in human imagination was becoming harder to find in real trees, over real rivers, and along real shorelines. Several pressures came together. Wetlands were drained. Large nesting trees were cut. Shorelines changed as towns, roads, farms, and industry expanded. Some eagles were lost through hunting. Others were affected by pollution moving through the water and food they depended on. The most famous threat was DDT. DDT was a pesticide widely used after World War II to control insects on crops, in forests, and around homes. A pesticide is a chemical used to kill pests, often insects. At first, DDT seemed useful because it lasted a long time and worked strongly against mosquitoes and crop-damaging insects. But that long-lasting nature became part of the problem. DDT did not simply vanish after it was sprayed. It could wash into waterways. It could enter small aquatic life. Small fish could take it in. Larger fish could eat many smaller fish. Then eagles could eat the larger fish. This is called bioaccumulation. It means a substance builds up in living bodies as it moves through the food web. By the time the chemical reached animals near the top of the food web, like bald eagles, the amount could be much higher than it was in the water itself. Inside the eagle's body, DDT broke down into a related chemical called DDE. DDE interfered with the way female birds formed eggshells. The shells became thinner than they should have been. A thin shell may still look like an egg from the outside. It may still be pale and smooth in the nest, but it cannot carry pressure in the same way. During incubation, when the adult eagle settled its weight over the eggs to keep them warm, fragile shells could crack or fail. The adults might sit for weeks, careful and steady, but the young inside would not survive. This made the decline especially quiet. There was not always an obvious absence at first. A nest might still be there. The adults might still return. Eggs might still be laid. But fewer young eagles were hatching and surviving. The future was thinning inside the shell. By the early 1960s, the number of nesting bald eagle pairs in the lower 48 states had fallen to only a few hundred. For a bird once common near many rivers, lakes, and coasts, this was a deep warning. The eagle had not disappeared because it lacked strength. It had not disappeared because its eyes failed, or because its wings were poorly made, or because its talons were weak. It declined because the world around it had changed faster than the bird could answer. Food carried hidden chemicals. Nest sites disappeared. Human pressure reached into places that once gave the bird space. This is what made the fall so striking. The bald eagle was not only wildlife, it was a national emblem, a creature humans had chosen to represent courage, freedom, and endurance. Yet the living bird still needed clean water, strong trees, healthy prey, and safe nesting ground. The emblem could survive on paper. The animal could not. And in that difference, the story becomes more honest. Admiration alone was not enough. Awe was not enough. Even love for the symbol was not enough, unless it changed what people did in the real world. But that same truth holds a quiet kind of hope. If human choices helped weaken the eagle's world, then different choices could begin to repair it. The fall of the eagle did not have to be the final shape of the story. Slowly, the pressure around the bald eagle began to change. In 1940, the United States passed the Bald Eagle Protection Act. It made it illegal to harm bald eagles, their nests, or their eggs without permission. Later, the law was expanded to protect golden eagles as well. This mattered because eagles needed more than admiration. They needed real protection around the places where they nested, fed, and raised young. Then came one of the most important changes. In 1972, DDT was banned for most uses in the United States. The chemical that had thinned eggshells and weakened nesting success began to fade from the food web. It did not vanish overnight. Chemicals can linger in soil, sediment, fish, and animal bodies for years. But with less DDT entering the environment, the pressure on eagle reproduction began to ease. Eggshells could become stronger again. Nests that once failed began to produce young. A pair that laid eggs in a tall tree near a lake had a better chance of seeing those eggs hatch. the recovery was not caused by one action alone. It came from many efforts layered together. Legal protection helped reduce direct harm. The DDT ban helped restore the hidden strength of the eggs. Biologists monitored nests. Wildlife workers counted breeding pairs. Some agencies protected nesting areas from heavy disturbance during the breeding season. In places where eagle numbers were very low, young birds were sometimes carefully moved or released to help rebuild populations. This kind of work is slow. It does not look like one dramatic rescue. It looks like people returning to the same nest year after year with binoculars, notebooks, maps, and patience. It looks like watching whether adults return, whether eggs are laid, whether chicks hatch, whether young birds grow feathers and finally leave the nest. Each successful nest added a small piece to the larger return. By the late 20th century, bald eagles were appearing again in places where they had become rare. A white head above a river bend, a pair circling over a reservoir, a nest high in a cottonwood near open water, a young brown eagle standing awkwardly beside a sibling on the rim of a giant nest. The recovery was visible because eagles are visible birds. They do not hide their return underground or under leaves. They write it across the sky. In 2007, the bald eagle was removed from the US endangered species list. That did not mean every danger was gone. It meant the population had recovered enough that the bird no longer needed that specific level of federal endangered species protection. The moment became one of the most famous conservation success stories in North America. A bird that had fallen to only a few hundred nesting pairs in the lower 48 states had returned in large numbers. For many people, seeing a bald eagle became possible again, not only in distant wilderness, but along highways near rivers, above suburban lakes, near farms, over winter ice, at reservoirs where open water held fish. The symbol had become living again, in ordinary places. That is part of what makes the recovery so powerful. It shows that damage can move through a food web quietly, but repair can move through it too. Cleaner water can support more fish. Protected trees can hold more nests. Stronger eggs can produce more chicks. Young eagles can survive, wander, mature, and return as adults with white heads and bright tails. The eagle's comeback did not erase the past. It carried the lesson forward. A powerful animal can be weakened by small hidden changes. A chemical in water, a missing tree, a disturbed nest, a broken shoreline. But a powerful animal can also return when those pressures are reduced. The sky above a river can change over decades. At one time, it may hold only absence. Later, with enough care, it may hold wings again. Still, recovery is not the same as completion. The eagle returned because many parts of its world were protected or restored. And that means its future still depends on what happens around the rivers, lakes, forests, wetlands, cliffs, and coastlines that continue to hold it. The eagle's return does not mean the world around it has become simple. A bald eagle circling over a river today may be part of a great recovery story, but it is still a living bird, moving through real risks. Some dangers are easy to picture. A tall tree cut down near a shoreline, a nest disturbed during the breeding season, a road, tower, power line, or wind turbine standing along a flight path. a lake or river carrying pollution through fish and sediment. Other dangers are harder to see. One of the most serious is lead poisoning. Lead is a heavy metal that can harm the nervous system, blood, digestion, and movement. For eagles, it often enters the body through food. An eagle may feed on carrion left in a field or forest. If that animal contains small fragments of lead, the eagle can swallow them without knowing. The pieces may be tiny, but the effect can be large. Lead can make a bird weak, uncoordinated, unable to fly well, or unable to feed. A bird built for sharp sight and precise movement can become slow and confused from something it never saw. This is one of the quiet forms of danger. It does not look like a storm. It does not sound like a crash. It begins inside the body. Collisions are another risk. Large birds need space to move. An eagle may fly low over water, cross roads near feeding areas, or move between a nest and a river many times in a season. Power lines, vehicles, windows, towers, and other structures can create hazards, especially where flight paths overlap with human-built places. A young eagle, still learning distance and timing, may be more vulnerable than an experienced adult. The body has the tools for air, but the modern landscape contains objects that eagle evolution did not prepare it to understand. Habitat disturbance can be quieter, but just as important. Habitat means the place where an animal lives and finds what it needs. For an eagle, that may include a nest tree, a fishing area, nearby perches, open air for approach, and enough space around the nest. During nesting season, repeated close activity can matter. Heavy noise, construction, tree cutting, vehicles, boats, or people approaching too often may cause adults to leave the nest more than they should. Eggs can cool. Small chicks can become exposed to weather. Adults may spend energy reacting to disturbance instead of feeding or protecting their young. The nest may sit high in a tree, but it is still sensitive to what happens below. Pollution remains part of the story too. Chemicals can move through water, soil, fish, and carrion. Some substances build up in the bodies of animals over time. Others change food supplies by affecting fish, wetlands, or the smaller organisms those fish depend on. A river can look calm from the bank and still carry a history within its mud. A lake can reflect the sky while holding changes beneath the surface. The eagle reads the world from above, but its body receives what the ecosystem has stored. Loss of nesting areas is another lasting concern. Old large trees do not appear quickly. A strong nest tree may take many decades to grow. If shoreline forests are cleared, if tall trees are removed, or if cliffs and nesting areas are disturbed too often, eagles may lose the places where breeding is possible. A nest is not easy to replace. It is built from many trips, many sticks, many seasons, and the careful choice of a site that offers food, safety, height, and access. This is why conservation is not only about protecting the image of an eagle. It is about protecting ordinary things. A tree beside a river, a quiet stretch of shoreline, a wetland full of fish and water birds, a winter feeding area where open water remains, a cliff ledge above open country, a landscape with enough space for a large bird to live without constant pressure. The eagle as a symbol can seem separate from the ground. The eagle as an animal never is. Its future is held in fish, trees, wind, water, prey, soil, and human choices. To see an eagle clearly is not only to look upward at strength, it is also to look downward at the world that keeps strength alive. And so the eagle returns to the quiet shape where it began. A broad pair of wings over dark water. A slow circle above a river bend. A still head turned toward the land below. A body held between sky, tree, wind, and shore. From the ground, it may look simple again. Only a bird moving through the evening air. Only a dark outline against a pale cloud. Only one living shape crossing the open space above a lake. But now, that shape carries more inside it. The eagle is not only a symbol of strength, it is eyesight sharpened for distance. It is a body built to hold a clear view while the air moves around it. It is broad wings borrowing lift from rising warm air. It is long primary feathers spread like fingers at the wingtips. It is a slow circle that saves energy while the bird reads the world below. It is also the sudden reach of talons, the closing of the hallux, the grip around a branch, a fish, or a rough edge of bark. It is the hooked beak that tears food into pieces small enough to swallow. It is the quiet skill of taking what the landscape offers, a fish near the surface, a rabbit in open grass, a salmon left on a riverbank, a meal carried by another bird. The eagle is powerful but not proud in the human way. It is practical. It waits when waiting works. It moves when movement matters. It takes the easier meal when the easier meal keeps it alive. And beyond one bird, there are many eagle lives. The bald eagle beside water, the golden eagle over ridges and dry open country, the harpy eagle inside the green shade of tropical forest, the serpent eagle watching warm ground for hidden movement. Each one shows how the same idea can change with place. Water writes one kind of eagle. Cliffs write another. Forests write another. Open wind writes another. And each one pays for its strength with need. Food, space, old trees, safe ledges, clear approaches, healthy prey, a place where a nest can hold. That nest may grow large with years of return. Stick by stick, season by season, it becomes more than a resting place. It becomes the center of a life. Inside it, the eagle's story becomes soft and fragile. A pale egg, a warm brood patch, a careful turn, a chick covered in down, a young bird flapping awkwardly at the rim of a nest before it ever learns the open air. Even the white-headed eagle of human symbols begins as something dependent. The clean adult shape takes years to arrive. Before the bright head and white tail, there are mottled brown feathers, uncertain flights, wandering seasons, and long practice in the world. And around all of it is the food web. The river beneath the bird, the fish beneath the river surface, the insects, plants, soil, carrion, mammals, waterfowl, forests, wetlands, and coastlines that keep energy moving. An eagle may fly high, but it never truly leaves the living system below. When that system weakened, the bald eagle declined. When people changed course, protected nests, reduced DDT, watched breeding pairs, and gave the bird room to recover. The eagle returned, not as an idea, as a living animal, a white head above a winter river, a young brown bird in a tall nest, a pair circling over trees near open water. That return made the symbol deeper, because strength became more than height or force. It became connection, a reminder that even the most commanding shape in the sky depends on things that may seem ordinary from the ground. Clean water, strong branches, quiet nesting space, prey moving through grass, fish turning beneath the surface, wind rising along a ridge. The eagle is still there in the imagination, carved into emblems and carried through stories. But the real eagle is richer. It breathes. It waits. It misses. It learns. It returns. It belongs to a place. And as the sky darkens over the water, the last circle can simply remain there for a while. A living shape moving slowly above the world. Not separate from it. Not above it in the old symbolic way. Held by it. Lifted by it. Fed by it. And still, somehow, lifting the human mind with it. The wings turn once more over the darkening lake. The shore grows quiet. The trees hold their branches still. And the eagle passes through the fading light, carrying vision, patience, survival, and return in one calm shape.